Hello and welcome to Mike Ausherman's anatomy class. Today we're going to be learning about the skull. It's separated into two parts. The cranium is divided into two parts. We have the neurocranium right here, and then we have the viscerocranium right here. The neurocranium is the upper and back part of the skull. The viscerocranium are all the other bones not included in the neurocranium. Most of the cranial bones are smooth and flat, but some are irregular shaped, allowing for foramina, which are openings that allow veins, arteries, and nerves to pass through the skull. These include the temporal bones, the ethmoid bones, and the sphenoid bones. But right now, let's talk more about the neurocranium. This bone right here is a frontal bone. It connects to the parietal bones right here. The parietal bones are bilateral, so this is the left one we're looking at, that guy's the right. They are connected by these sutures right here. Not your typical suture though. These are actually immovable joints that connect the skull bones together. So this is the coronal suture, which attaches the front and parietal bones together. We have the sagittal suture right here, which connects the two parietal bones. The lambdoid suture right here, which connects the parietal bones and the occipital bone right there. And then we also have the squamosal suture right here, which connects the temporal bone and the parietal bone. The occipital lobe also has an opening at the base right here for the for the foramen magnum, which makes space for the spinal cord to pass through. Now let's go back up to the temporal bone right here. This is where the EAM is located. The external auditory meatus is found. It allows for the opening of the ear canal, which is this guy right here. And right over here is the zygomatic bone. The zygomatic bone contains a zygomatic arch, which is where the zygomatic bone and the temporal bone connect. It also creates your cheekbones. And my wife has fantastic zygomatic arches. Now let's go ahead and jump to the front here. We're going to be taking a look at the mandible and the maxilla. If we take a look from behind, you can see how they have the alveolar processes. I'm sorry, I did not mean to click there. The alveolar processes, which is a spot for the teeth to attach to. Now right here we also have the vomer bone, this tall straight guy right there. If you turn to the side, you can see how it kind of goes up a little bit. And then we also have the palatine bone, which is this guy right here that goes up and kind of connects right there. So let's go ahead and jump back to the front here. This guy is your nasal bone. We're going to be talking about the nasal cavity right here. It's made up of several bones. This one right here is the ethmoid bone. This is one of those irregular bones that we talked about earlier. It also has the inferior nasal concha. Let me zoom in just a little bit. It's those guys right there. Again, it's another bilateral, so this is a right and a left. It also has the vomer bone and the maxilla. So all those guys together is what makes up that nasal cavity. And if you turn it to the side right here, this is where the nasal septum would be. And this is a fun fact. I had to have actually a surgery because I had a deviated septum. And when the doctor went in there, he discovered that I in fact had a double deviated septum. So he had to do twice the work, which meant the recovery was twice the fun. Now, from there we're going to take a look at the lacrimal bones. The lacrimal bones are actually just right here. Also another bilateral one, so this is going to be the left one that we're taking a look at right now. From there, we're going to take a look at the sphenoid bone, which is one of the last, actually the last bone I will be talking about. It's right here. It looks like it might be a bilateral one, but it's not. It is one piece. It's just obstructed. It's kind of behind the zygomatic bone and the ethmoid bone. This is also that ethmoid bone, the irregular shaped one. So it's pretty hard to see, but it is one piece. Anyways, thank you guys very much for attending my class today, and I hope you learned something.